I wanted to do one more of these problems using a slightly different method. Instead of using trig identities, when you see some problems like this in pre-calculus, you're most likely going to be drawing triangles. So normally you'll see some problems. If you have a problem that looks like it's on the unit circle or has an angle from the unit circle, you're probably going to use a unit circle. But in this case, 3/5 is not a ratio that's on our unit circle, so I know that I should draw a triangle. Let's figure out what quadrant this is. We still need to do that. And then I'm going to show you something. So there's quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, quadrant 4. Notice that cosine is positive, but tangent is negative. So if tangent's going to be negative, that is here or here. Because remember, tangent is sine over cosine. So that means that one of them would have to be negative for tangent to be negative. That's going to happen in quadrants 2 and 4. But notice that cosine is positive 3/5, so that means we're going to be talking about quadrant 4. So when I say draw a triangle, here's what I mean. Draw a triangle in standard position in quadrant 4. So the theta is always the angle that's closest to the origin, and then you're always going to drop a vertical line to the x-axis. Since cosine is 3/5, I'm going to use SOHCAHTOA here to my advantage. SOHCAHTOA, so that means the adjacent is 3 and the hypotenuse is 5. So I'm going to label the adjacent as 3. The hypotenuse is 5. And then I don't know what this is. I can do the Pythagorean theorem if I want to figure it out. Though this is actually a triple, so hopefully you already know it. So 9, 25. If I subtract 9 from both sides, I get 16. So that means that b is plus or minus 4. How do we figure out if it is positive or negative? Well, we need to look at our picture. So notice this b is going down. It's in the 4th quadrant, so I know that it's going to be negative, so it's going to be negative 4. Now that I know that's negative 4, it's going to be really easy for me to answer the question. So sine is always going to be opposite over hypotenuse. So instead of using the Pythagorean identity, I could just look at my triangle since I've solved my triangle. Opposite is negative 4, hypotenuse is 5. And then of course cosecant is the reciprocal of sine, so I would just need to reciprocate it. So you might find this method easier instead of using the Pythagorean identity, but I wanted to show you both.